I think maybe some of what I said was taken a little bit out of context. What I mean by fast is just flirtatious with more than one individual and using things that people had to their advantage to move forward. It was simply a gameplay observation.
So when she spoon and like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic bi moment of the
Chaotic bi moment. And you're watching Black Bi Reality.
Black Bi Baddies.
And those who love us.
Hi, Red. This is Nicole Weaver from Black Bi Reality. How are you doing today?
Doing real well, honey. Got to sit on my hands just about it to keep them clapping about how good I'm doing. Just happy to be home.
That's great. My first question for you is, since you've been evicted, you found out Cameron won HOH and he nominated Izzy and Felicia on the block. What's your reaction to all that?
Awesome. Get it, son. I'm glad he's doing it. Honestly, those people are targeting him, have been since the beginning. And I'm glad now that I'm out of the house, he can actually do that. I think I was one of the things that was preventing him from doing that because of my loyalty to the group that I had thought that I was in. So now that I'm gone, I think even though it sucks, it may be the best thing for his game moving forward.
Yeah, true. Cameron seems to be on his own without you, and he has to win probably to stay in the game. Who do you hope that he gets closer to kind of like not always have to win?
Honestly, I hope that somehow he can build relationships with maybe Corey and maybe even America. I don't know about Jag and Blue. But honestly, it can't be on the other side of the house. Cirie, Felicia, Izzy, and Mimi have all been targeting him since the beginning. So all his other options are what's left on the other side of the house, the kids, if you will.
Yeah. You and Cameron kind of had a very like male-centric gameplay. And going into that, it seems like that's who he's hoping to get close to with like Jared and everything. So we'll see how that goes. You were tricked into thinking Cameron betrayed you. The breakup that you guys had was so cryptic because you didn't feel like going into details. But can you kind of explain a little bit more for fans? Like, what did you think he did?
So honestly, I was told by Jared that he volunteered us for the block and volunteered to go up against me as a pawn. And then he was number of supporters that he would have in his favor, which did not make real sense to me at all, except for it was being collaborated by other people in the house. Unbeknownst to me, those other people were actually a part of the deceit as well. So bravo to them for the job that they did. I mean, that's Big Brother at its finest, to be honest.
Yeah, true. So you claimed in a previous interview with Taylor Hale that you thought America was using her pretty to get further in the game, then claimed her comments were never misogynistic. You did call her fast at one point, which is usually language thrown at women to police how they're dressed or acting. And then you also told Parade that you felt like Corey was being played, which with that line of thinking, Corey could also be playing her, but it was like never, that thought process never went in. So it kind of plays into this thought that like men are helpless to like women. So do you follow basically why people still feel like there's some misogyny there with those comments?
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff that y'all don't get to see. I mean, there's a lot of live feed that isn't posted and a lot of stuff like that. Every comment that I made was made out of observation, and I try to look fairly at both sides. I think maybe some of what I said was taken a little bit out of context. What I mean by fast is just flirtatious with more than one individual and using things that people had to their advantage to move forward. It was simply a gameplay observation on, what she was doing. Like, I don't know, it wasn't anything that was pointed or directed at females in general at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest of three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So very feminine, protective individual and such like that. All it was my observations based on comments she had made right before, getting with Corey or, being flirtatious with Cam. So I don't know how much of that y'all get to see, but obviously there was some stuff that was missed because I don't have a misogynistic bone in my body.
Yeah. Well, it's the live feeds. We get to see a lot. You did talk about your interaction with like the pretty girls was kind of different since you wanted to be respectful of your partner outside of the house. And you said it was like really hard. But I just kind of wonder that it seems like you kind of chopped out your own game a little bit because that fear, why wasn't there ever just like I could befriend these women or I can still use them as allies like I would my male counterparts? Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, if you see, I was in a room with 3 women, and when I first got in there, I made sure that they were okay and they were comfortable with me being in there. And the reason that I ended up aligning with them ultimately was because I wasn't sure how other women that were single in the house were going to be initially. I didn't want there to be any unclear lines for Allie Mae sitting at home watching. For there to be like any room for, well, he was flirting or they were flirting or that kind of thing, just out of respect for her. But it was definitely not male or female oriented because majority of my allies in, well, what I thought was my alliance were female.
Yeah, I think it's just like the females who were taken or like gay because Izzy and Bowie Jane. But yeah, my last one is Cirie. You did say you felt like the most betrayed by her. She loves touting that she is a very loyal player and her people make it to the end and they even win. Now that you have been part of a Cirie blindside, what's your verdict on her statement of being an honest or loyal game player?
Well, honestly, I can say, and which is funny to say that, that I don't look at her any type of bitter way whatsoever. I think she's playing the game that she's been trained to play. This is a woman that's played multiple reality shows where manipulation is key to your advancement, and I think she is playing those cards to their fullest at this point. You can't fault her for it. I mean, you honestly can't. She's doing what she can to win $750,000.
Yeah, no, that's true. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Red. It was so nice talking to you.
Yes, ma'am. You too.